Good evening, everyone. Sorry for being slightly late. Um, you know, now I'm here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mazes, okay, and welcome once more to Njenje Media TV, where we promised to do this analysis today. Many of you who have been waiting for me to come online again, I do apologize. It wasn't intended. As we say in my place, Ife kante bakutente no. That means that which is greater than the cricket just crawled into the cricket hole. And as a result, stuff were moved around, hence that it appears that I'm slightly late. Be that is may, it has been a very fantastic and a very wonderful day. Let us then go ahead and do justice to the topic of this evening. But before I start, once more, I must say congratulations to the people of Anambra State for successfully electing a governor with whom most of you, and indeed the whole of Anambra, are well pleased with. Having said that, I will say on behalf of the Media Group, I will say to Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo Charlie Nwambafo, I will say to you once more, congratulations and happy that you finally have become the governor that you have always wished to become. So everyone, this evening I want to look at the speech he made. Let us unpick some of the key things he said. What are the key highlights of this speech? I will allow this speech to play. Once we get to certain highlights, I will pause and have my analysis done. There are some sections of this speech that ought to actually be, they should be trending, but for some reason they are not. Question is, why are they not trending? Because this speech that ought to be trending has been downplayed by an incident that happened in Oka today. That incident is that the two illustrious daughters of the Great Igbo nation engaged themselves in what the legend Fela and Nicola Bokuti would call the Rofo fight. Story has it from our reporters on ground that the wife of the outgoing governor, or rather the wife of the former governor of Anambra State, is, you see, this power is transient. Actually, yesterday Obiano was governor, today Obiano is no longer governor. So, story has it that the wife of the governor went to the wife of Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the Ikemba Nnewi, that is in the person of Bianca Ojukwu. Story has it that she went there and, spoke in her face and said, well, I thought you said APGA is finished, stories like that, that you're not going to engage APGA again. What are you doing here? And story also has it that she tapped the lady a couple of times, and in anger, she stood up and there was a slap. Wow. Again, that video and story has saturated the internet, depriving the core things Soludo said today, the oxygen to get into the heart and minds of the people. Before we go into what Soludo said, let us actually review collectively this clip of incident today. So let's play this for us to view. Now, for clarity here, you will see the woman in pink walking. I don't know if that was a catwalk, a cow walk, or a chicken walk. I don't know. But you can see the lady catwalking is the wife of the former governor of Anambra State, in the person of Chief Willie Madrabro Chukwu Obiano. So, so I think we have to probably do that again. Take the video. The video is staggering. So at this point in the Rofo fight, you can clearly see the man in black Akwete there who is saying, journalist, everybody off your camera, off your camera. And I'm like, you're lucky I wasn't there. That is the time to even bend down low and get all the ungetables. You can't, at this stage, where you see real breaking news and you're telling people to off their camera. This is not Professor Pondi, or this is not the National Assembly where they tell people to off camera. But again, be that as me, you can see, people have been asking me what is my verdict. And watching this video again and again, what I can only say that sadly that this incident took place. But this incident is well provoked. Watch again, because you can see someone moving from her seat, going to the seat of her brother to go tap her by the shoulders and speak to her in a language that she didn't like. Something is not, hold on, let me try this again, another way. I don't like the thing is not entirely, hold on, let me see if I can play this another way. This is not, okay. Let me see if I can do this way. Just bear with me. Just 1 second. Let me see if I can play it a different way. Hold on. Okay. So let's see if this will work. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll try that again. Because as it is, anyway, bottom line is, let's not get hung up on the technicalities of this. Sorry. I don't want to get hung up on the technicalities of this, but I'll try that for the last time and see if it is going to work. Okay, so it's fine. I'll try that. Like I said, a different word. Really deeply sorry about the technical glitch, but it would be nice for the following things that I want to say to see that once more and to see the full video. Let's see if the video is going to play uninterrupted. I had someone called Ashao. I don't know where that was coming from. I don't know who called Ashao. I don't. But obviously, you can see this was the event that happened, and this event, as it is now, is what I said, that singular incident has overshadowed the whole conversation that Soludo had, or rather, his speech. Now, we must not, aid in order to let the critical things that Soludo talked about to be lost in translation, or to be lost because of that little rough fight. Here, we're going to do justice to the statement made by Soludo today. Join me as we critically analyze step by step of what Soludo said. What does that mean? Are they achievable? If they are, how can we, you and I, as fellow citizens, help in ensuring that we have that better place we can call home? Let's take a deep dive.
Your Excellencies, in the new order of things, could we tell those who are making noise at the rear, if they are not for the event, they can as well leave? Because the Anambra that we're talking about is a place of law and order. Isn't it? Yes. Anambra is a place of law and order. And for a few minutes, we said that there weren't going to be any lengthy celebrations. This event was supposed to last for some minutes. You just come in, national anthem prayers, swear people in, and we go to work. Because my first meeting is already waiting, the people for the first meeting. And that's why we had to cut this thing very short so that we can go to work. So please, if you could listen to us for just a few minutes. And let me say, do I want to rest on the existing protocol, but then to say, Your Excellency, my Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Onyeka Chukwu Ibezim, the newly minted Deputy Governor of Anambra State. But while I do that, I will also recognize the wife of the Governor of Anambra State. The wife of the Governor of Anambra State. Okay. Let me say, Your Grace, not in any particular order, my national chairman, Lord Bishops here, Lord Spiritual and Temporal, a national chairman, the Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, the members of the National Assembly, former and current, I could say, are distinguished senators. Let me not repeat the entire protocol that has been established because we want to save time, and all protocols duly observed.
Now, you see one thing that many of you, I think as someone said here, he's a man of the street and a global citizen. He has a way of carrying the crowd along by virtue of the fact that he just sang this song. Suddenly he started connecting with those that are there. That's a very good way of making presentation. Especially understanding your environment. But again, let's see if we can fast forward past the singing.
Police officers.
Now, he started this speech by first of all paying tribute to those his security men attached to him whom were killed by unknown gunmen during his campaign time. Recall that in Ethiopia, when he once went to went for a town hall meeting. That town hall meeting was invaded. Again, I think that is a very good way of starting. You show the human side of it, of your, you show you are a being. You show empathy, empathize with those who have lost somebody. And that's a very good body language, if you ask me.
Pay special tributes to hundreds of thousands of our friends and supporters who work tirelessly to see us to this moment. It is not possible to list all of you here. I remember with deep sense of grief the 3 gallant police officers, Inspector Murtala Saudi, Sergeant Modashir Ahmed, and Sergeant Samuel Eshaya, who lost their lives to the unknown gunmen who attacked us at a meeting with the youth in my village last year. We pledge to continue to take care of their families.
Now we will say, actually, may, as he said there, may the souls of every, security personnel that lost their life in the madness engulfing the Southeast, in the killing of security personnel, may their souls all rest in peace. May the souls of everyone who have also fallen victim of the military incursion in the Southeast. Many of us have seen in the Southeast, especially Imo State, where the military come in, sadly, because of this same madness, when these things happen, sadly, when the military now come in, those that will fall victims are not in any way, shape, or form amongst those that they are actually looking for. Those that will fall victims are innocent, most times, innocent citizens. We have seen houses being burned. That is condemned. This platform has condemned it. We must, and I must keep condemning it. That is barbaric. That is not needed. No life, be it the life of a security personnel, should be lost. Again, the security personnel also must work hard to ensure that no life of any innocent person is lost. That was what led to NSAS, because suddenly our lives appear not to matter at all. Life is sacred. You and I can't create it. That's why it is sacred. But the destruction of life, properties, honestly, let today be the new dawn that all this madness will come to an end.
I particularly thank my friend and outgoing governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Sir Willie Madabrochukwu Obiano, for being an honorable gentleman and leader. On Saturday, 20th November 2016, I accepted your proposal for gentlemen's understanding and partnership. I kept my part in 2017, and even after 5 years, you still kept yours in 2021.
Now, if for those of you who do not know what he meant here, very simple. Recall that prior to the election in 2017, Soludo wanted to contest, but Soludo was obviously he wanted to contest in the first tenure of Obiano when he joined APGA, and Victor Ume was the one that invited him, and actually, it will appear that it was a game played on him then, but it's now it's worked out good for us, because at that time, recall that the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, had his own candidate, a man whom he had hunted in the United Nations in America by name Osoleka Obaze, who is from Ochuche in Atani, Anambra North, right? So the guy came back, joined Peter Obi, became the state SSG to the state. And, everything was working fine. But again, when politics began to happen between Victor Ume and Peter Obi, the rest is history. Soloka was disqualified on the basis that he never had, he doesn't have a voter's card. But voters registration would have started in a couple of days. Soludo was disqualified on the basis, frivolous basis that, he had a case on the polyester on the polyester money printing with an Australian company with the EFCC, then he was disqualified. That means these two potential candidates, credible candidates at that time, were, sent away. Now, the next round of election came. During re-election, Peter Obi supported Obaze, the man he brought in from America to contest, to take over from him. Soludo wanted to contest. Then this deal that Soludo talked about was agreed upon. What was the deal? Support me to go for second term. That would mean that the North, Anambra North, would have gone second term. When it is your turn, I will then support you with whatever it takes to ensure that you become the governor. Again, someone at some point in our lives must hold the ladder for us to climb. Someone at some point in our lives must hold the ladder. Obiano is a byproduct of Victor Ume. When I hear people blame Peter Obi for Obiano or say Peter Obi brought Obiano, I laugh. That means you're not an insider. You don't know what's happened. What happened was Obiano, like I said, I won't go into much details, is a byproduct of Victor Ume, or rather Senator Victor Ume. Eventually, politics happened the way it does happen in Nigeria, and the rest is history. Here, again, he is paying tribute to the man who held him the ladder to climb the stairs. He mentioned the former governor and Senator Victor Ume as well, as those who held the ladder for him.
I always emphasize this point because it is rare these days to find people who keep their word in politics, and we will never take your support for granted. You are indeed a great leader. Thanks for believing in me. We will work hard to make you and the Anambra proud. To our indefatigable national chairman, also Dr. Victor Ikoye, your visit of 27th August 2016 and unwavering support remain historical. I will continue to thank all our party members, especially the members of the Board of Trustees, National Executive Council, state, local government, and ward excos, our campaign committees at all levels for their massive support. I am grateful to all the stakeholders of the Anambra project, the clergy, and I see several of our leaders in the Lord who are here, from the archbishops to the bishops and so on, and the church, traditional rulers, Association of Anambra Town,
You see, funny thing, when he railed out the names of his children, one of his child is Chinua. I said, "Now, wow, it's like our paths are crossing in so many ways." I never knew that one of his child's name is Chinua, because my son's name also is Chinua. Because of my love for the man who taught me, who really got me engrossed in literature by the mere simplistic way he wrote. That is the late Professor Chinua Lumogo Achebe, whom it appears myself and Soludo now named our children after him. He's a man of immense intellect. I believe if there is any way the dead could see what is happening in the living world, he would be so happy that this day has finally come in the state of Anambra State.
For their love and sacrifices. Despite your deep reservations about this journey, you still allowed and supported me to step out in the service of our people. As I repeatedly promised, I will work hard every day never to disappoint you. My 90-year-old father is in the night. My late beloved mother, Mbafo, is smiling in her grave. Today is my first day at work. I just reported for duty, 8:55 to be precise, and will work for at least 8 hours today. And that's why I'm just eager to get this over with so we can go in and start work. We had more than a month since the election to celebrate our historic victory. Now is the time to work, and there is no minute October to waste in funfair. In a few minutes, I will announce some of the principal officers of my administration and commence with serious meetings of the Anambra Security Council, followed by a meeting with the President Secretary, meeting on Oboko, and with my strategy execution and evaluation team. Within the next 1 week, the list.
You see the thing. He has actually announced, there is another video that came out, another video we got in the last 1 hour. He has already made an announcement as to the SSG and some key people in his post. Recall, this is less than 10 hours of assuming governorship. Yet we had a president whom Nigerians were begging after 6 months of electing him, 6 months of electing him, plus 3 months of acting as president-elect. Yet, after 9 months, he had no ministers, and he was just telling us that ministers are distractions. Maybe he was right. I don't know. But you can see the level of preparedness in his way and approach to work. You can see that by already, today there was a security meeting after this broadcast. They went into security meeting, which
they are well. The Afghan muffler on my neck, I feel the weight of Africa's historic progressives, like the great Zik of Africa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo GCFR, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, Dr. Emaya Okpara, Malam Aminu Kano, Chief Joseph Taka, Malam Balarabe Musa, Kwame Nkrumah, etc. Not to talk of millions of the living African progressives who still dream of Renaissance Africa.
Haba, Best, he says he's nominating me for the spokesperson for another state. I don't know, you are not agree. You want it at home. I don't want it at home. So I don't know if your nomination would, because I actually agree with Soludo on the issues. We'll get there. When he talked about the issue of, whoever wrote Soludo's speech appears to have watched my program last night, because almost 90% of the things I discussed last night in this place were the things that one found in this speech. So best, I don't know if your offer will be accepted to be the spokesperson for Anambra.
We will never let them down. The All Progressive Grand Alliance, our party, initially set up to be registered as United Progressive Grand Alliance OPGA, is a nostalgic rebirth of the Grand Alliance of Progressives in the First Republic, comprising Azikiwe's NCNC, Awolowo's Action Group, Joseph Taka's United Middle Belt Congress, Aminu Kano's NECU, etc. As the first true progressive party in Nigeria since 1999, unless it is the first to be registered, to join us on this historic occasion.
So let's fast forward a little bit.
And the vulnerable persons are lifted up to realize their God-given potential. And all our pensioners receive their gratuities, and workers are paid their leave allowances, and contractors paid. We will not celebrate until.
Did you hear that? When shall Anambra State people begin? When shall we begin to celebrate? He said there is nothing called celebration until we begin to lift people out of poverty, until the gratuities of our parents who are now retired are being paid, until the pensions are being. These are things. Words translate into action. Words translate into action. Imagine the way and the clarity, the way you can listen to him. Compare that to your president. Would you ever understand what he's even saying? Does he have that? But here is a man, you can see they say the taste of the pudding is in the eating. But again, let the word spur people. Let his words spur people to action, to begin to believe. Because with faith, people can begin to act, believing that this is actually, again, I don't know how to convince all of you watching me now, irrespective of your state, for us to ignore the federal government and come home and begin to build from ground up. a lot of things we think it's impossible is because we have allowed cucumbers, carrots, thieves, non-armed robbers to take over from the grassroots. A place where, non-criminals run the show. You can never get it. But let people with ideas come forth and let them begin to drive, take the driver's seat and let us see how it goes.
Our youth get jobs and business opportunities until the youth in Zone 9 become global serial entrepreneurs. We will not celebrate. Poverty, until poverty is near zero and income levels rising. Yes, I will not celebrate, and certainly not with the taxpayers' money. Anambra, I come to this job prepared to serve you. For 12 years since 2009, when I first indicated interest to serve you, I persevered through the turbulent politics, and here we are today. Once again, I present to you the Soludo solution. We are contract with the people, which we intend to vigorously implement, subject to resource availability. Our contract with Anambra people derived from 3 seminal documents: the Anambra Vision 2070, a 50-year development plan, which I chaired the drafter. B, the Soludo solution, a people's manifesto for a greater Anambra. And the third is the Transition Committee's combined report, which built on the first 2 documents. In sum, ladies and gentlemen on the vine, this is an agenda for an itinerant tribe in search of a livable and prosperous homeland. Driven by the philosophy of one Anambra, one people, one agenda, our goal is to build Anambra into a livable and prosperous smart mega city. Yes, we are starting, as I said, tomorrow at Okoko.
Again, what is the whole idea here? The encompassing idea is to build Anambra into a smart green city. What is a green city? Very simple. Where a city powered by renewable energy with high level of greenery, where trees are planted. Ask yourself, one of the things I hope Soludo will do is that let us do one family 10 palm trees. Just, the agricultural palm trees. Let us begin to replace them. One family, 10 agricultural palm tree. These are things that can begin yielding fruit in 3-4 years. One, it will help in wealth generation. It will help the environment because, now everybody is sweating like Christmas goat, but if we have more trees, it will reduce the direct sun heat. These days, we build houses like people who have some boats kind of lost in their brains. You see us, we build us our gigantic houses, no single tree planted. What manner of people are we? We must begin to think. Now, whatever he's saying, pardon me, I don't really want to take only for Anambra State, but I look forward and I expand to beyond Anambra, that these ideas that he's espousing here, these ideas are the ideas that we should be working towards for the whole of the Southeast and the larger Great Igbo nation.
Somebody asked me from the South, that the outgoing governor is from the North, and is just handing over to someone from the South, and you're also beginning your first job from the North. And I said, my response was, I believe in one Anambra, one people, one agenda.
Best, you say we should let Soludo be on this forum. I can assure you that I will do my best, if not once in a while, to get him as my guest and let us judge some of these things he's doing. Well, let's talk about it in a relaxed atmosphere. Maybe one of these days I will invite him for my Friday hangout. He will sit down with our palm wine. Let's hang out. You understand? Or maybe we might have to do that in Ethiopia. I don't know. But it is a promise that on this platform, we must continue to hold him. We will give him the support. I give him, honestly, all the support that is needed. But in giving him that support, we must also hold him to account. Yes, we give him and we support him to succeed, but we must also hold him to account, no matter what. No matter what. We must succeed.
And our agenda, that one goal is to build Anambra into a livable and prosperous smart megacity. We aim to transit beyond petroleum to the digital world of the fourth industrial revolution and envision Anambra as an industrial technology and leisure entertainment hub of West Africa.
Yes.
Our detailed plan rests on 5 key pillars. The first is law and order, and that is homeland peace and security. The second, economic transformation as Nigeria's next axis of industrial tech and leisure. And fourth is competitive and progressive social agenda to deal with education, health, youth, women, and vulnerable groups. And then governance, rule of law, and the rebirth of our value system. And finally, to aggressively tackling our existential threat posed by the environment. And that's towards moving towards a clean, green, planned, and sustainable cities, communities, and markets. For me, ladies and gentlemen, this agenda is also personal. I am here to join you in building a society where I will be proud to live in after leaving office. What we propose is what we collectively build, is that we collectively build a new social and economic order that guarantees and defends economic freedom and reward of private enterprise to secure our future, that any child born in Anambra will have little incentive to rush elsewhere in search of opportunities, and anyone persecuted anywhere in the world can return to a happy and prosperous homeland. That is our mission. Such a new order will of necessity entail a massive disruptive change and creative destruction, with short-term pains but guaranteed long-term benefits. As a humane and progressive government, we shall strive to deliver the difficult change with a human face. As we transit into a non-oil economy, our strategy is a small open economy framework embedded in the 21st century imperative of everything technology. We seek to bring the world to Anambra and take Anambra to the world, especially in the context of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Our Made in Anambra and Anambra Standards agenda underpin this strategy. If you can produce it in Anambra, I will be your chief marketing officer, provided that your standards meet the Anambra standard, which is excellence. The Anambra government will only patronize Made in Anambra products and services unless such goods or services are not currently made in Anambra, then made in Nigeria, Africa, and in that sequence. When you see me in innocent vehicles or in my acquainted dress with a pair of shoes made in Obunike and Nkwale Zunaka, that's my shoe from there, and Onisha, we are making a statement.
He did, indeed. You see what I mean, that he's making a statement. And I'm like, I love this. Recall that when Ihedioha took over, the first procurement, I believe, that was made to the security agents were what I think was Ford. And on this platform, I called him out. I said, no, these things are unacceptable. It's not because the factory is in a different state. We are one people, it's cheaper, and it creates jobs for the poor, for the middle class, and for everyone, for our benefit to produce locally. I argued then that he should endeavor to buy locally. And eventually, subsequently, they bought from the state. However, when I look at the outgoing governor, he uses Lexus. I look at the Imo State governor, he uses Lexus. I look at the Enugu State governor, he uses Lexus. Zitabia and Debonyi, I'm like, come on, people. If someone doesn't want you, the argument always, oh, Nigeria doesn't want us, this doesn't, and I say, if someone doesn't want you, must also not also want yourself. Must you also detest yourself? Where is your pride in that which you manufacture? And one of the things Innocent is now doing is, apart from the plastic stuffs that he manufactures, one area I would want him to actually, and any other person for that matter, to look into is in terms of solar production and solar inverter and battery production locally. For me, the national grid can actually stick their grid somewhere. I don't want to say where they want to stick it, but wherever they want to stick it, they are free to stick it anywhere they want to stick it. But because these are solutions we can actually find for ourselves. So we don't need any other third party to really come in and begin to find these solutions for us.
And if you look there, you will see, as I promised, that the vehicle I would drive will
It's Innocent. See the vehicle there, Innocent, the deputy Innocent.
Today, the light refresh.
You see what we're saying. I hope the government continues like this. He said he will drive Innocent. We are looking at Innocent there. There is another clip we have where you have the Innocent vehicle, the deputy. This one, some of you say is armored plated and G-guard. I don't bloody care, but as long as it's produced here, that's all to me that matters. I'm not really quarreling about the price or whatever, which type of vehicle, but at least he is making a statement. That is, in my view, what matters.
Refreshment to be served after this brief event is abacha from Umunze.
If you don't know what abacha is Enugu. Growing up in Enugu, we call it jibo. It's African salad. That's what was served according to him. So no English food, no. Everything is pure Africa. What he wore is the akwete. So we are going to start. He's wearing his akwete. I'm wearing my onye dot, proudly the dotted one, because this dotted one was produced in Aba. Everything was produced in Aba, sewn in Aba, printed in Aba. If you need your own copies, send me an email at media@gmail.com. Then we will talk about how you get your own copy. Postage but it's really lovely. You can see how nice it is. We got to be proud of that which we have. Some of us are wearing Gucci, what's it called? Dodgy Man Gabbana or Dodgy Gabbana. I don't even know what it's called. But let us go and wear ours. Don't worry. Next, I will have my puppy cap made of akwete. That's where we're going.
Okwa from Isofia, Anambra rice with Ofapu, Nkwenu from Ofu, from Awandoba, bottled water from Onisha. As part of our Made in Anambra cultural renaissance and healthy living agenda, when you come to the Governor's Lodge or attend any state government function, be sure to be served only made in Anambra. We want to go back to where M.I. Obara stopped with the palm revolution and plant millions of palm trees. In some years, we will seek not only to export palm produce, but also fresh palm wine.
Look at it now. I don't know, Soludo, please steal my idea with calm down. Every time on this platform, I keep talking about M.I. Obara. Every time here, he is my role model when it comes to governance. Every single time I keep talking of M.I. Obara here. And here is Soludo again, talking about M.I. Obara, how we're going to plant, palm wines, and how we're going to use our palm trees and produce palm wine. How did Soludo know that I am Onye Dot, the drinker of palm wine? How does he know that? Remember, when we were in school, there is this song we sing, when Kegai to do there. Oh, we say Galili, Ebendong Jele Kopa, Galili, ebe ndị ọṅụ nkwụ jere kọpa Galili, ebe ndị ọṅụ nkwụ jere kọpa, ebe Jizọs mere mmiri ka ọ ghọọ mmanya, mmanya 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 ngwọ, mmanya 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 nkwenu, mmanya 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 ngwọ, ebe Jesus mere mmiri ka ọ ghọọ mmanya. In line with that spirit, the spirit of something in something, let me take a minute and let me drink something, because I don't want to show you what I'm drinking. We are getting there. We are getting there. Honestly, it's going to hopefully be a good ride. But do not expect that it's going to be a smooth ride. It must and it will at some point get rough.
From Anambra State. We will seek active collaboration with the federal government, not only to export manufactured and agricultural products, but also services, especially tech, leisure, entertainment, and skills and talents, as we seek an educational system whose products are productive at home and also exportable abroad. Anambra's greatest resource is our human capital, and we shall grow and mine this resource to its maximum, leveraging on technology. We will soon inaugurate the Anambra Innovation and Technology Advisory Council to drive the emergence of a digital tribe and mainstreaming technology and innovation across all aspects of our lives. Also, our International Investment Council, Global Friends of Anambra in Development, as well as the Council on the Ease of Doing Business. We will conduct local government elections.
Confirm.
Sorry, here you will conduct local government election. I mean, it could be in 1 year, it could be in 6 months, it could be in 3 years. Here, sir, I would have preferred that the next thing when you said you would conduct local government election, that you put a timeline to it.
No doubt the uniform local government system as the third federating unit is one of the contested features of our federalism. But we must make the best of a bad system by unleashing the potential of governance at the lower levels. Over the next 2 years, we shall review, amend the relevant legislations, reform and strengthen the system for efficiency, restructure and strengthen the Anambra's Independent Electoral Commission, and conduct local government elections. We will collaborate and coordinate actively with local governments to ensure synergy and complementarity. Let the revolution also get to the grassroots. We shall reinvigorate and mainstream the public-community-private partnership as a veritable framework for service delivery and development. We will develop pragmatic frameworks for private sector and communities to adopt schools, build roads to infrastructure, manage government assets, receive and manage development matching grants, participate in sanitation and securing law and order. There is a subtle but powerful revolution underway, or raising the bar on our age-old community development model. Yes, every community embarks on community development, and there are thousands of Anambra operating different private charities and philanthropies. But let me give you an example that beyond the well-known Newi model about think home and act home, some communities such as Neni and Adaziani, just showing these two as an example, are showing new examples. At Neni, an individual has started 18 kilometers of road, and together with others, now a total of 24 kilometers of road provided by private citizens of Neni in Neni.
Now, you see where the idea that I think is good. You know, government have failed somewhat to encourage people who are willing to do something. I know that many of us, myself included, will begin to also come out to do more if there are governments, you know, like matching grant. What I mean by that is, let's say, in my house, my street is half a kilometer. It's going to cost 50 million to do. Would government match me 50-50 if we do that? If they will, of course. You see the reason. Maybe the rest we can look at how, or you look at how when these things are done, you can pay back through tax incentive over the years, in 5, 10, 6 years, no matter what. But somewhat, government, we must move away. Yes, the things we do in Nigeria today does not work. If we want to get to the place where we want to be, as long as this state is concerned, we must move away from the things that has been going on in the last 50 years. It has never worked. It's not working. We need a clear, a clear head to go away and depart from the things of the past.
And they are now refurbishing and empowering public schools in their community. An individual in Adaziane has also done 13 kilometers and wants to surpass the need record. The government will provide a framework to incentivize and unleash the momentum of this new phenomenon at the village and community levels. Our government is committed to promoting the expeditious dispensation of justice, especially the prompt resolution of commercial disputes. We shall collaborate with the Chief Judge and his colleagues to significantly improve the physical infrastructure and technological infrastructure of the courts, and hopefully also implement some structural reforms to fast-track the path to justice and make Anambra the #1 in the speedy dispensation of justice and ease of doing business. Ndeba in the Anambra, part of our future is in our past. We will mainstream our values of hard work, integrity, compassion, and sanctity of life. The fringe but destructive minority, which embodies the get-rich-quick by all means philosophy, cultism, drug addiction, bloodletting criminality, kidnapping.
I hope at this point, Professor Soludo, that you will begin to do something. All these native doctors that come on Facebook, showing how they spill blood and how they do juju for those who engage in 419 and internet scam. All these so-called prophets, Dibias, who are seen in rivers with our sisters and our mothers naked, giving them baths with some concussions in the name of Ijebutike, that's Anna Safochu. These things, there must be a way, and we can put our heads together to find a way to regulate these. All these Pentecostal terrorists who would go to places of worship of those who they do not consider aligning to theirs and destroy and take away the artifacts of my ancestors in the name of Ikenga and burn them as a means of cajoling their people to say that this is ancestral cause, and I said there is nothing like that. But having said that, because of ignorance, we will see our pastors, some of them, fundamentalists in thinking. They will look at a tree, an iroko that you can never plant and you will never plant. You don't know how it grew over 200 years, and you point at it and say, this iroko is the tree, is the reason why you are not progressing. Many communities where you have destroyed those, have they blossomed? The question, the answer is no. Therefore, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, we must find a way to put and begin to legislate these things. This destruction must stop. There ought to be tolerance, be it that you are from the Pentecostal family, then of course tolerate others who do not have the same faith with you. Be it that you are from the traditional religious worship, of course, yes, you must also tolerate others. Not these things that are happening, the issue of cultism, the issue of getting rich quick. I don't know where this comes from. Some will say it's Nollywood. I say, well, I don't think so, because did Nollywood also tell politicians how to steal? This is values, moral decadence that has been going on over the years and not being checkmated. And there was no drawn plan. There was no concerted effort, in order to make these things change? No, there was none. Everybody was barely interested in just, yeah, it doesn't matter how you make your money. Come, you are called names, you've made your money, and that's it. Everybody begins to worship you. So I'm happy that this is part of what you just said.
They do not represent us and cannot define us. As a new social order and everything technology, philosophy take life, many unproductive systems will give way. There will be new and better ways of managing our parks, managing our markets, different and better ways of collecting government revenue, managing waste and general service delivery. Land registry will be digitized, and we shall leverage on technology to ensure a responsive and accountable public service, together with our initiative for an ID for every Anambra person, wherever he or she may be, and a code of conduct for political appointees to mainstream servant leadership by example. We must, ladies and gentlemen, read Onitsha and all our roads and markets of revenue towns and make shopping in Anambra a pleasurable experience. Today, I will sign an executive order to suspend all revenue contracts operating in the parks.
This is the first bullet. This is the real first bullet, the first salvo, the first gunshot. This particular executive order has the impact could make on Soludo's, because now he's touching the tail of the tiger, the plutocrats, the politicians, those that have amassed wealth through control of parks. Now suddenly he's taking their piecemeal away from their mouth. They're not going to be happy. So everyone, grab your seatbelt. It might get rough because of these singular acts. And it says a lot. It says a lot about the manner and way someone thinks. The first time he comes in, this is the first thing he does. Let's watch out and see how it's going to play out.
And roads until we put in place a new system within the next 4 weeks.
You see, a new system has to come within the next 1 month, 4 weeks. See, like I said, that is the first bullet. And that bullet, my prayer is that this bullet doesn't boomerang. But it is a necessary bullet to be shot. And there's at this time.
Consequently, as from tomorrow, the 18th March 2022, if anyone asks you to pay him or her cash as revenue to the government in the parks, markets, and roads, such a person must be a thief.
You see? So if you're watching me from Anambra State, by any means, from tomorrow, if anybody, from today, oh, well, today is gone. From tomorrow, if anybody asks you, Avoga, have you paid your tax? And they want you to pay in cash, tell him, Ibu Onyoshi, Governor Sini, Ibu Onyoshi. That's it. I don't know. It's, exactly these things I said yesterday, that we must use technology to drive these things. We are lucky. We are lucky that we are in a generation of the fourth revolution, where we have internet and the Web3 and blockchain. These things gives us the ability to really design stuff that are mind-blowing, stuff that are, some of them, unhackable, actually. Some of them. So these are things that we can use technology to cure. Let every single payment be traced, so that when we now run the reports, that dashboard at the back end, we will see those transactions. Of course, these are things some of us do. We understand this. But when things are done primitively, cash, you collect. Look, you watch me now, you live in America. Do you pay cash when you go do your license? Or do you pay cash when you pay your council tax? Do you pay tax when you pay your Gebühr? Do you pay tax in so many things? Let the fight start. And I'm happy that he declared this fight in the first day, so that now that even, now he hasn't got so much in him. So he needs all the muscle he will muster to basically hold this monster. Anambra State is a state that pays 0.005% in tax. That is disgraceful. It's not maybe disgraceful to those who pay the tax, but because those who pay the tax are like those who put water in an empty basket. Nkata, iji nkata, kulumili. That's what it means.
And market unions must also stop harassing the customers.
Exactly.
We shall embark on massive training and social re-engineering to win our people off the old unproductive ways. As a main government, we shall endeavor to offer alternative opportunities to the revenue class. Over the next 2 years, many will complain that, quote, it is not the way we do it. But we can't.
You see, Anambra State is blessed. The thing is going on. He's reading his speech. And the former governor of Anambra State also walked in. There are states where, now, how many governors do you have? You have present, past, and past. I don't even know where Chimaroke, sorry, my brain is playing me, Ojoro, where Mbadrinuju is. Why no one sees him, but you can see how freely Peter Obi just walked in there. That is what we need. It's time the great Igbo nation begin to bond. One of the things I would expect Professor Soludo to also do is, yes, Anambra State people elected you, but we must show the light by also appointing those who are not from Anambra State to your cabinet. Appoint them. We have people from River State. We have people from Ebonyi. You know, I don't bloody care, but let us show, you know, that thing we envisage, that nation we want to build. Let us begin to bring it to reality by our actions, by our deeds. Again, my name is Mazezok. If you're just joining me for the first time, please, I beg, if you haven't subscribed, just click the like button. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching me on YouTube, please click the like button. If you want to make use of the super chat there, you're free to make use of that. If you follow me on YouTube, on Facebook, please like, just hit the like, smash the like button, share. It's free. So let's go on with the analysis, people. It's getting
repeat the same thing and expect a different result.
Exactly.
During the coming months, we shall embark upon bold but difficult reforms, and these reforms may be unpopular, especially among those benefiting from the existing order. For sure, the revenue and PAC mafia that rake in billions of government revenue into their private pockets won't be happy. But we commit to doing the right thing. And
you see, I am also happy that he also himself has acknowledged it, that it's not going to be easy. People, all these people, their bellies are like this, you know, like a woman in third trimester, you know, in the 8th or 9th month. Their bellies, they can't even look down and see their belt, you know, and they are sitting down somewhere. They have paid 30 million and they're expecting 1.2 billion. And suddenly somebody comes in. The DJ is still playing the song and they pulled the plug. They won't be happy. And I'm happy you also acknowledge, you know, that they won't be happy. I know you have a contingency plan, how you will tackle that. Because if you need our support, we will support you. These must be fixed. After fixing this, we will begin to go into the peripheral areas and begin to do that. Abia State is a state that needs tremendous, Abia State needs 10 types of Soludo too, because a lot is it waste management, is it road, is everything is broken in Abia State, actually. The worst state, worstly, you know, badly governed so far. But anyway, let's not digress and come back.
We pray for your understanding, patience, and cooperation. By His grace, divine, Anambra will win. But Anambra State is a subnational entity within the context of Nigeria's unitary federalism. The speed of our progress will depend in part upon the threats and opportunities inherent in such a system. The ongoing constitutional amendment at the National Assembly is welcome, albeit as proposed meeting imagines and attempting to do more of the same. The subnational states need to be unleashed. For too long, Nigeria has tried a top-down strategy. Now is the time to try a bottom-up approach, and that's part of my motivation. While we debate how far and how fast the devolution and reconfigurations will go, the world is not waiting. As the world transits away from oil into cleaner energy sources and the world of fourth industrial revolution, Nigeria needs a fundamentally different rule book to survive and to compete. We will seek to optimize the limited headroom allowed by the current peculiar structure to give our people improved lifestyle. Besides the environment.
Now, this is the section we are entering now that some of you watching, some of you who disagreed with my view last night would not agree with. But I 99% agree with him in the following views that he will share, because that is the way to go. I believe that some of us who disagree with the following views that he would share is that you guys are really, really, really misinformed. Let's go. Again, this is our own first bullet here. It's going to get hot because I know some of you watching now wouldn't like this. Oh, thank you very much, Rokafo Catfish. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. See, the first super chat this evening. Thank you. You appreciate it. So let's go, guys.
A fundamental existential threat to our state and indeed Igbo land is that of peace building and law and order.
Exactly. Without peace, without law and order, my brothers, all this speech we sit down here listening, analyzing will amount to nothing. Waste of time, waste of space. Everybody will stay away. Only cucumbers and carrots would take over and overrun us. No, that is not the way to go.
We can't build this homeland by turning the sword against each other.
Exactly.
The Anambra love their homeland, but the recent upsurge in criminality poses a great threat. My heart bleeds to see and hear about our youth dying in senseless circumstances. Every criminal gang today, kidnappers, wicked murderers, arsonists, rapists, thieves, all now claim to be freedom fighters.
Soludo, I believe you were listening to this program yesterday. Instead of you to be working last night, you were busy listening to me. Now you repeated all the things I said last night. Every single criminal operating in the Southeast, especially Anambra, all the known criminals we know, they all come out now. They're all freedom fighters. They're all agitators. They all want Nnamdi Kanu released. That is what we see. Those are not real. There is no way you can be killing your own people and say you are wanting them to be free. Be free from what? From your own oppression? You are doing worse than even those you call your enemy are not doing to you. So people in love, I beg us, let us come back to our senses and see how we build a place that you and I can live, especially those of you who are in the diaspora, a place you can come in and stay without anyone harassing you. It is not impossible, people. We can do it. And here I agree with Professor Soludo's analysis. Again, like I said, Prof, I'm happy we share these things, and, you know, as if I knew you were going to make this speech. These are the things I talked about last night, but I know you watch me before you go to bed. So we keep knocking it. Let's, in love, this is not fight. You know, this is not fight. This is not a question of saying, you know, because one of the easiest cliche that I found so funny these days is if you disagree with some of my brothers, suddenly you're called a sabo, and I'm like, it's sabo kwanu for what? I'm unapologetically dotted. So anyway, people, let's continue cracking me up. People.
Criminality cannot be sugar-coated. This must stop. All the stakeholders must now review both the narrative and the action plan. For starters,
sorry, let me address this. I think OC as Equam says, Maz, why don't you encourage people to use PayPal? Of course, you can use PayPal. PayPal is at the bottom. You can use PayPal. The PayPal is at, sorry, njenjemedia@gmail.com. So you can just use PayPal to do, if you so wish. I appreciate that comment, but you can see the PayPal. If you look at the lower third, that is what is scrolling at the bottom. You will see the PayPal address there, and you see the Fidelity Bank address as well. Not that people will begin to attempt to hack that account now, but anyway, and I must say thank you. After the last podcast, I think I must say thank you to Chima Uchoma Jibueze, who also put some pure water, because after shouting so much last night, there was need to drink some palm wine and pure water. And thank you very much for that. And once more, GPS Inc. 360, once more, also thank you for your super chat. Let's keep it rolling.
I totally endorse the recent statement of March 7th this year by the joint body of Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers and Bishops and Archbishops on the peace and conflict resolution, requesting for a tripartite discussion between them, the presidency, and the Southeast governors to deal with the conflict.
Now, what Soludo is saying here, my brother, I say, Abukwan Monichi, I don't speak to Arame Kwilena. If you're asking me if I'm speaking against sit at home, Monday sit at home, and I will say yes, and boldly yes. I don't double speak. The Monday sit at home is not only silly, it is you hurting yourself. So I don't know how else to tell you that. It's the same thing, Soludo. You will hear it from him. We are losing money. We are losing lives. It is hurting us. We are destroying ourselves. If you're doing it to get your leader released, in 2 million years, it's not going to work because nobody cares that you're doing it. Abuja does not care. Buhari is in London. He doesn't care that you're destroying your properties, burning stuff, and sitting down home every Monday. He doesn't care. He doesn't leave. If you're stopping Abuja, for instance, if you're stopping Abuja or Lagos from operating on Mondays, then people will begin to pay attention. But when you go home, you go to your bedroom, you're stabbing yourself because of the argument you had with somebody in the market square. It amounts to self-harm. You're not choking anybody, you're destroying yourself. I don't know how else to say this.
In the Southeast, especially in relation to Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB and the Eastern Security Network.
And again,
securing Igbo land and Nigeria.
Sorry.
Besides,
now, sorry, for many of you who are saying, what is he actually, what is he saying? Let me rephrase again. The council, the concerned Imobi Ohaneze with the Southeast Council of Bishops and some Igbo elders, they agreed on one thing. They are seeking that the Southeast governors, the Southeast Archbishop, Council of Archbishop and the concerned Imobi Ohaneze, to meet with the president and dialogue on this same matter at hand. We should be paying attention to statements. This is what, again, because I personally read the report when the report came out on the 7th and it was published on Injenje Media. But again, because sometimes something like this comes out, what you hear is only insult, 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 insult. Nobody actually pays, many of you don't actually pay attention to read in the nitty-gritties of the details between what was said. And again, I honestly believe, this is the way to go. This is one thing that will bring solution by really engaging. Let those elders come out of their shell. Let those in government come out of their shell. Let there be a negotiated solution to this. And by virtue of saying this public, it means that he himself, what he said here, is an incoming governor. He's also agreeing and aligning to that solution proposed by the Council of Bishops.
The environment, a fundamental existential threat to our state and indeed Igbo land is that of peace building and law and order. Securing Igbo land and Nigeria must be our collective responsibility. Let those in the forest come out, surrender your guns, and let's work together to rehabilitate and empower you to contribute positively to peace and prosperity.
I hope we understood this. Bullet number 2. Let those with AK-47 in the forest come out. He is offering you an olive branch. Come out. He said key things. If you don't understand, I'll break it down. He is willing to negotiate with you. He is willing to rehabilitate you. He is willing to set you up in the path of doing genuine business and living a better life and paying tax as every other human being. People, these words were not used, but I can use it because that is exactly what it means. It means by this statement, the new Anambra State governor is offering amnesty for those in the bush, for those engaging in the kidnapping, for those engaging in the arsonists, for those engaging in those killings. The Anambra State governor is saying, come out, lay your arms, lay them down. We will talk, we will engage, we will make sure that you are taken care of. People, isn't that a better alternative? There are videos flying around, even one that was shared today. You see a boy of about 8 years carrying arms. Then you sit back as a parent, ask yourself, what future would that boy ever again have if at that young age that boy has been exposed to such level of ammunition handling? What future? I remember when my son was 8, and I cannot in 20 million years imagine him being in that scenario. He doesn't have a future. Even those now, today, handling these weapons, can you tell what can they become in the next 10 years? Hence the government saying, we are willing to stop this madness. Lay down your arms, come out of the bush, and let us do what? Let us talk. I see if I can play that part again, because it is very critical. I know, like I said before, I might as well stop reading the comments, because many of you would definitely disagree. You can call me names, but only the great God, the Chukwukabiama, says my heart that all I want is a peaceful coexistence. That that's all. That's all. Let us have a peaceful homeland. That's all.
Our homeland. A significant part of our state economy is powered by artisans, keke drivers, vulcanizers, hairdressers, cat pushers, petit traders, bricklayers, women frying akara, and all those who depend on daily toil and sweat to feed their families. Every day there is a sit at home. These poor masses lose an estimated 19.6 billion.
Every day there is sit at home. We lose about estimated 19.6 billion. Round it up is 20 billion. Every day there is sit at home. Yet, how much do we get as internal generated revenue? Peanut, comparatively to what we lose. Again, I think people, let us engage our brain. Let us, sometimes what I see is okay, I'll rephrase. sometimes I see is the inability to interrogate facts. Sometimes what I see is just basically outburst based on emotion, not underlined by any empirical evidence or any iota of empirical thinking, but just pure emotion. Again, emotion doesn't win war. Emotions doesn't win war. What wins war is strategy. Deep, deep strategy. And what am I calling for? What is he calling for? Can we calm down and engage in deep thinking and strategy to wiggle our way out of some of the quagmires that befall us?
In terms of lost income in Anambra State alone, due to the protracted breakdown of law and order, businesses are relocating outside the Igbo land, and there is growing unemployment, and traders who used to come to shop in Onitsha, Aba, etc., are going elsewhere. Who is losing? By forcing our children, the future of Igbo land, to stay at home instead of being in school, while even the critically sick people, including pregnant women, cannot go to hospital on the days you declare sit at home.
I have a friend who we had argument about sit at home. He supported it. I said, my brother, these are my arguments. I don't. One day he called me sometime October. He said, Maz, you are right. I said, what? Why the change of heart? He said that he nearly lost his elder brother. He's from Anambra State. I won't mention the community. He's from Anambra State. I said, how? What happened? He said that late Saturday night, his elder brother had issues and complications. Before day broke, it was massive stroke. On a Monday morning, there was no way to take him to hospital. There was no vehicle. His doctor in Enugu called the doctor. The doctor couldn't come out because there was no vehicle. Now, do you know how many people have died either through complication of childbirth, have the misfortune that they will give birth on a Monday? Do you know how many people that have lost their life by having the misfortune of trying to attend to something as serious as life on a Monday? And they meet their Waterloo, sometimes they will never and they did not recover because of that same action. I wouldn't say much on that again, but I think he who has ears, let him hear. Again, that's my position on that.
We are harming our future. I hereby challenge any of the disparate groups that claim that it is not part of the senseless killings and kidnappings to step out and show leadership by joining hands with us. Simple.
If you say you are not part of it, I hear some argument that sounds silly sometimes. Some people say, oh, it's DSS that are killing. It's this that are doing this. Then if you know it is not you, Professor Soludo is saying, come out, join hands, and restore sanity in your own home. Is that too much to ask?
To do something about it. If you love our homeland, there is no place for bloodshed. Our Lord Jesus Christ admonished us in Matthew 26, verse 52, quote, put your sword back in its sheath,
exactly.
For all who live by the sword will die by the sword. In the traditional religion, the land places a curse upon those who spill the blood of the innocent.
Exactly.
For me, ladies and gentlemen on the vine, this issue is very personal to me and a very emotional one. My mother Mbafo died during the Civil War. Her last born, Chukwuemeka, died the same during the war. My father bore a bullet inside of him for many years. My elder brother at 16 was in the boys' company, such that myself, the second, at 8, I became the man of the house with all the men at the war front. My uncles, cousins, etc. died during the war. This is 2022, and there are certainly far better ways to protest than shedding the blood of the innocent or resorting to criminality.
When a governor-elect in a federal republic is telling you this, it means I can actually say that Soludo is also an agitator. But all he's saying is there are better ways we can agitate to yield result without harming ourselves. That doesn't make him stubborn. That makes him a man who understands his environment. Everything is not about physical fight. Sometimes we can engage our number 6 to do the fight. And at the end of the day, the result will surprise you that they will still come back to be the same.
This is why I call on all of us today to join hands with me to execute the real agenda, a livable and prosperous homeland of opportunities and jobs for our youth, while maximizing the benefits of a united Nigeria, Africa. With Ohanese's estimate that some 11.6 million Igbos live in the north, and over 7 million in Lagos state alone, and over 70% of our non-land assets scattered all over Nigeria and the world, we need Nigeria and Nigeria needs us. We need Africa and the world, and they also need us. Yes, we have had every genuine agitation for fairness, justice, equity, and equality in the Nigerian Federation. No, we refuse to turn our homeland into a crime scene and all manner of criminality. No group has ever succeeded in any struggle in history by turning the sword against themselves.
But by this, I will say this bullet has turned golden. You have a gun, you have AK-47. You say, Kai Abuja, Abuja, now you they kill us. You want to shoot your gun to Abuja, you point it like this in your head, and you want to kill Abuja. Boom! Okay, now you they die so. And that's exactly what we are doing.
I promise to work hard with other governors and leaders in the Southeast and others to take your agitations to the table of all Nigeria.
You see, did you hear that? Pay attention, people. He's telling you that he has joined the agitation. He's going to work with other governors and take your agitations to the center. That's what, who amongst the governors has made such speech? We must give him the benefit of doubt while holding him to these speeches, holding him to his own words. We must listen. We must listen. Listen, Bikon, Umunem, please, I beg us. Let us listen.
And we hope to bargain for a win-win solution for all Nigeria. I will engage all parties to the breakdown of peace and order in Anambra from a point of determination to solve problems and resolve the disagreements with openness, integrity, equity, and justice. I will absolutely invest my political capital within the state, Southeast and the presidency, federal government, and this establishment, and as a matter of topmost priority. With good faith and hard work by all parties, I am convinced that justice, peace, and order will return to Anambra State and the Southeast within the shortest possible time.
Ich wundere mich auch, Henry Fenn. Mein Gott, manchmal denke ich, was für Menschen sind wir eigentlich? Es gab Zeiten, dass manchmal, es gab eine Zeit, dass ich dachte, wir Ibos, wir sind eigentlich Leute, die wirklich schlau sind. Aber manchmal, bei die Sache, die wir machen, dann denke ich mir, wir sind eigentlich blöde Idioten. Ne? Sowas manchmal denke ich mir, wie kann es denn sein? dass wir so dumm sind, dass wir unser Land eigentlich bei uns selber zerstören. Wir machen so ein Scheiße. Naja, das war auch mein Rant hier. Okay, people, I come back to reality. So, like I was saying, these things, you see the governor is telling you he's going to join you, he's going to represent you. And by the virtue of those who are governing today, we have hope. If they refuse to work with him, you watching me from other states, you have the time in 2023 to elect those in thinking and thoughts that can work with him. And the bulk of the problem that you have today is with the president. And by 2023, it's not going to be there again. It's not going to be there. So I see that if we put effort in rebuilding ourselves, Anambra and our neighbor, that if we put genuine effort, one, to secure, because it's only when we have it secured by ourselves that we will have foreign direct investment, that people will begin to believe in the system again and begin to invest, will help us to create jobs and let us build that place we want to call home. It's my home. Like in The Things Fall Apart, it says to Okonkwo, do not bear hand in killing that child called Ikemefuna that calls you father. And if you are from the southeast and you're from Onyanambra and you love your place like I do, I encourage you that you should not bear any hand in the destruction of your own homeland. Why would you?
This agenda is premised upon your irrepressible and communal spirit. It is you, the people, that will make it happen. We all love our homeland to death, and we can turn it into whatever we will that it should be. A new servant leadership and a new homeland consciousness by the people will get us there, despite new challenges. For example, to effectively implement our ambitious agenda, we need annual investment levels of about 25 to 30% of the domestic product, GDP. And this will come to, in dollar terms, to like about 2.58 to 3.09 billion dollars. That's the level of investment you're required to make here, to make the kind of dent we need. And at current levels, our public sector investment is less than $100 million. The gap seems daunting, but we are undaunted. The internally.
But let me pause this. It didn't help to say. For us to, the dream everybody is now saying, Soludo promised this, Soludo said this, the other one. For us to get there, it's now the reality is beginning to set in. We will need about 2.58 billion annually. But now we merely have about 100 million. Do the math. 10% of 2.8 billion is what? So we're not even we're not even anywhere near close. But is it impossible? No. Yesterday here, the guest I had, Mazo Koye, who lives in the United Kingdom, says he doesn't live in Anambra, but if things work, if things begin to get, if we begin to get it right the way everybody is anticipating, he doesn't mind paying tax in Anambra, a place he doesn't live. That is the spirit. In a place he doesn't live, that is the spirit to help us to develop the homeland.
Generated revenue of the state is barely 0.5% of the state GDP. And this
I did explain that to us yesterday. 0.05% to GDP ratio. That's what we pay. Whereas in other African countries that you and I are doing Okanga, you and I are much richer than. You and I are, we do a fizzy. We drive bigger cars, live in bigger houses. They look at us as what? We are the Baba. they pay between 23 to 25%. But here, we pay 0.05%. You know, if it's not even up to 0.5%. It's not even 0.5. It's 0.05. Very minute. So you see, if you just oppose this tax payment to the first bullet, which was anchored on the executive order that everyone collecting tax sees everything electronic, you see, I see more crisis coming. But we must help him to navigate this.
Presents enormous, immense opportunity as well as a threat in the context of a rentier culture, where the social contract and trust between the citizen and the government is broken, and the people do not believe that they can get value for their taxes. We are determined to change this. I pledge here once again, ladies and gentlemen, for us to devote every kobo of your tax money to work for you. This is your government. I'm only your employee. I commit to a transparent, accountable, judicious, and impactful use of your tax money. My litmus test for every expenditure will be to ask two questions. One, if this is my hard-earned money from work and profit, can I spend it this way?
Exactly.
Two, is this the best way to spend the taxes and levies collected from the poor traders and the Okada riders? If I cannot answer yes to both questions, then I will hesitate to deploy your money. On your part, Ndebai, we need a new chapter of active and responsive citizenship, imbued with civic responsibilities and participation. Pay your fair share of tax and sanitation and other levies and try us. I paid my 2021 tax to Anambra State, and if you care to know, at least I paid over 10 million. The keke drivers pay over 90,000 per annum. The women selling pepper and hawkers who pay 200 naira per day average over 50,000 per annum. What about you, the shop owner or trader, the lawyer, the doctor, the consultant, the journalist, business owner, the landlords, and so on?
And here he's now telling us. Here he's now telling us, in all these things I have promised you, in all these things that you are anticipating that I will do, there is the cost element to it. And this cannot happen. If you try me by paying, then we'll deliver. The question is, why won't we then try him? Let us pay, let us try him and see. At the same time, why we try him, we shouldn't, I will go and get my stone and put it by the side. Because if you want to do us like others, we might be forced to use the stone. But there is no need for the stone. We are going to give you the maximum support with the hope that you are going to do and insist in doing things right as you have promised.
You want good transport network without traffic, good schools and hospitals. You want water, clean, green, and planned environment, etc. How much do you pay per month or per year?
Good question.
The Anambra outside of Anambra must creatively pay their taxes in their primary residence, Anambra, with a new homeland consciousness and the estimated over 10 million in the Anambra outside of the state can collectively turn their homeland into the new axis of prosperity. In addition to our civic duties and responsibilities as responsible citizens, I call on all of us to go the extra mile in volunteering our time and treasure to create the homeland of our dream. Everybody is important in this journey, and I need your help to succeed. We must all strive to die empty, to give our all in aid to God's creation. Each day, every Onye Anambra must ask him or herself, quote, what have I done today to make home state livable and prosperous? It should be part of our daily devotion. There must be a purpose in God's, why God in his infinite wisdom decided to make you Anambra. In my view, that must be to live it better than you met it. No one is too poor to give or do something for Anambra. If not you, who? If not now,
when?
As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, and as I close my eyes and visualize our future, I can see millions of Anambra holding hands and working hard for a glorious future. I see the skyscrapers along the banks of River Niger in Onitsha, Newi, Okai, Globia, etc. I see a smart megacity with millions of happy and prosperous people. I see us exporting massively to the world, and the world coming to Anambra as the preferred destination to live, to work, to invest, learn, relax, and enjoy. By history beckons. Seize this moment in the Anambra, and together, let us make it count. Anambra, the light of the nation, shines. God bless you all. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Now, people, that is the end of that broadcast. That is what Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo told us. Michael Okoye says, is there any way to remove all these people that give trouble? See, one thing is, they don't actually use their real names. So they're always there. Sometimes just because of the type. But I think here on this platform, we hesitate to remove people as long as they don't get insultive. We don't, make your argument. I mean, you can make your argument, disagree with me, disagree with your fellow, someone watching, and, but keep it civil. Keep it civil. We can't remove you. We can't block you. We'll let you be, because we'll learn. There's they say, iron sharpeneth iron. So let's all learn. It's free speech, it's a free world. So having said that, people, you can see that this is what Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo has said. And the key takeaways, like I said, the first bomb he threw is that he is going to control the revenue collection, which I think may cause him trouble. But again, it's good also that he's starting this early. Second one is, making it very clear, as many of us have argued, that every single criminal in the Southeast, people that ought to be in prison, everybody now is now an agitator, is carrying gun, enforcing one thing or the other. So now we need to get a grip and he extended his hands of fellowship by saying, please, brothers and sisters, can we stop? Can we make this happen? Can we do X, Y, Z? Which I think it's indeed a good place to start. Inadvertently, he didn't use those words, but, in simple analysis, content analysis, nothing stops. He didn't fall short of, or rather he fell short of using one word, amnesty. And that's what it means. When you're telling people, say, okay, I know you don't have a job. I know you're hot. Maybe one of your siblings, kind of was killed or anything happened to him. I know you've been wrong, but give us a chance. That's what Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo is appealing to you this evening. He says, give us a chance to mediate on your behalf. We are willing to work with you, rehabilitate you. It's not living in the bush, it's not your calling. You are not like those who migrate from point A to point B and live only in the bush. You cannot live like that. No normal human being lives like that. You can go camping. Yes, after going camping, you come back to your mattress. You enjoy your night sleep, but not perpetually living, running away from security agents. Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo is telling you, come, let us dialogue. Let us find solution. Again, he spoke on tax collection. He said that from tomorrow being 18th of February of March, that no one should ever pay tax by paying tax cash. irrespective of who you are, even if it's like a driver. Tomorrow, somebody say, buy your, say no. The governor says you can no longer pay your tax by cash. You have to now do it electronically. And they are working on getting these platforms to help collect this tax. And these are things that you and I, over the years on this platform, we've been, ranking our, just yanking our head off. One other thing that I want the professor to explore is Nigeria is telling us, oh, Anambra, you cannot vote. You cannot do electronic voting. If Anambra is indeed the light of the nation, Prof, I want to implore you that in building the new Anambra State Electoral Commission, let us try full electronic voting, where people can use app and vote, accredit themselves. If the election opens 9 o'clock, the app opens 9. If it's 5 o'clock, it stops. People can do the same way they do banking. Let us think, in the same country where things doesn't work, but how come only one man, the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, he's the only one that has implemented electronic voting with the help of some international donors. But again, we have international donors. We also have blockchain technologies that are willing to partner with us to, try it. If it works, we prove it works. We know it works because there are countries that have used it and it worked. That is the thing. Every person in Nigeria, if you want to trade in Bitcoin, you can easily download Binance coins, or you download crypto.com, or you download CoinGecko, whatever it is, but you are able to trade in crypto. No one hacks your account. No one takes your crypto. No one takes your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Luna, whatever it's called. No one takes them away from you because of the security associated with blockchain. Now we have Web3. These are secured platforms that nations have used these platforms for electoral purposes. We must, if we want to. I am happy that these, when he talks about using Anambra State as a tech hub. In using Anambra State as a tech hub, that's one of those things. These technology are readily available here. Can we begin to look at how we can begin to aggregate, off-grid distribution, maybe using the power of the sun. Sun shines here, and we are wasting sun. But we can begin to engage our number 6. Can we look for companies that can produce solar in Anambra State as roof? This technology is there. So rather than just roof your house, useless roof as in nothing, can we begin? So these things, let us play with our imagination. I care less what people who choose to live in the bush elsewhere in some states, what they want to do. I only care for those, sorry, but at times you got to be selfish. In this case, I am selfish. I want how it works for me. Because the other ones have said, and they want to live in a 17th century culture, practices, and all the rest. I say, good luck, leave. I want to leapfrog. Other nations have left us behind. We now need to play catch up. Hence, the reason why we are here. Everyone, thank you very much for joining me. For those of you asking about the slap, it means you didn't start from the beginning, because that was the first thing we started with. The slap was very hot. The slap was the slap. Somebody was catwalking. Somebody catwalk, went to another one and said, you said you've left Africa and this, that, and the other one stood up, and all he heard was Boza. And the way the people shouted, he thought somebody threw a bomb there. See someone in pink catwalking. In pink catwalking. See where the governor is actually sitting. the former governor was actually sitting. You see? So he's been given the real backhand. Huzzah! Our eye come clear. Mhm. So I think once that was done, um, there was also wig removal. You know, there was not only backhand slap, there was also wig removal. So wig was also removed, and the rest is history. But many of you have said that both of the ladies in question should apologize to the great Igbo nation, even when provoked. Yes, I do know. The former governor's wife, Ebere Chukwu Obiano, provoked Iyom Bianca Ojukwu Ono by mere walking up to her and speaking to her in a language that she did not like and in a language that she didn't understand. And her reaction, even there is another video, but for time factor, I will not be playing that video. The second video is where people now started even hailing her, saying, it's good because she's been doing this, she's been doing the other one. It's good that you actually gave her. So people were laughing, hailing her for doing that. Well, I say violence has never solved any problem. Violence is not going to solve any problem. Civility doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to be civil, people. Again, some of you will say, every time you're being civil, you're being civil. Well, tell me where violence has ever solved anything. A case in point is what we now see in Ukraine, a nation that was poor and had limited infrastructure, having come out of Soviet Union, trying to build their infrastructure suddenly because of unmanaged anger. You see a whole nation having the limited infrastructure that they have been destroyed. That is nothing but a tragedy. Again, people, like I said, I take some a couple of your questions, then I call it a day this evening. So if you haven't subscribed to this platform, please, by all means, I beg you. Yeah? Which language should I speak before you subscribe? If you have subscribed, invite somebody to subscribe. Please help us to help you. And by the way, anyway, one day we will show you our something that you helped us. We've achieved a milestone. We have some recognitions even from YouTube. So, and that is only courtesy of you. And on what we stand on this platform is to always speak truth to the best of our knowledge, to the best of our ability. What we will never do here is to come to misinform the audience. But if by any chance there was some form of, incorrect or inaccurate information passed out to everyone or to anyone, what we would do we would always retract and apologize. But it is not intention on this platform to have this platform disseminate anything that is not truthful. Meme, thank you very much for the super sticker. Violence worked in Afghanistan is a lie. Violence didn't work in Afghanistan. Afghanistan was actually destroyed. If you understand the issue of violence, you understand that those that actually invaded Afghanistan, ab initio, shouldn't have invaded Afghanistan because that invasion was violence. So, entities develop in various ways. The way you develop, the way Africa developed, if you come to Africa, Ethiopia wasn't colonized. The way Ethiopia is developing is not the way Nigeria is developing. The way South Africa is developing is not the way Zimbabwe is developing. Neither is it the way Rwanda is developing. But when somebody forces his way into yours, that is violence. And even what you have when the Taliban eventually came back is, well, it's neither here nor there. Anyway, yes, freedom of speech. So everyone, if you have questions, then I'll take 1 or 2 questions. Then if not, we'll call it a day. And I'll say thank you very much once more for being part of this. Bianca acted in self-defense. If that was only verbal, then maybe not. But I think from what I also heard is that she was kind of tapped 3 times. That led to her standing up and doing that buza. Okay, so again, bear in mind that we have children, so we have to be very careful of what we encourage. It's when communication is always better than such, because when our kids then get angry and they use their hands, either they hit someone or they use weapon. I mean, these are things that we need to really pay attention. But again, it appears the internet loves that slap. It appears, I put it this way, it appears the internet loves that slap. Somewhat it's been trending, and many people are hailing that slap, and I'm like, these are children of anger that love people being hammered. Anyway, on that note, everyone, I'll say thank you very much. Professor Soludo says he's going to Opoko tomorrow. So that's the second part of the video. He said he's heading to Opoko tomorrow. So we'll see. When we wake up, we'll see how he has gone to Opoko. What is the live feed from Opoko? When he goes to Opoko, analyze and juxtapose his video with what I showed us when I myself visited Opoko in January. To actually understand, when you hear Opoko, how does Opoko look like now? How do people live there? And sadly, you can go back to Ginger Media and search Mazes visit to Opoko. You will see that 23 minutes video documenting, speaking to the people in Opoko. It was an eye-opener, because suddenly I realized, wow, Mazes is taller than every single building that I saw in Opoko that is not a duplex or a couple of story buildings. And I say, let's hope and pray that good things will come our way now. On that note, I say, everyone, thank you very much. I am very much happiness more that things are turning out this way. At the end of the day, we say, if it is well with us, it is going to be well with every other one. Let's continue. I believe if Anambra gets it right, then Imo and Abia State should be next in line. Ometuisi, Ometuaguba. On that note, I will say, everyone, thank you very much for being my guest this evening. And I am very, very grateful that you joined me this evening. On that note, I say, good night. I am still okay. On your dot. Unapologetically so. Good night.